Here's your collective channeled message and tarot card message for the next week. Whatever resonates, take that. It's for you. There was a lot of chaotic, unbalanced energy going on right now. Earth's unbalanced right now. So is humanity. Socially and physically, that's showing up in natural disasters right now, as you see the big earthquake that just happened. There's been volcanoes, even the past few years, so many. So Spirit guided me to reference in regards to that the book I recommend, The 3 Waves of Volunteers. It's by Dolores Cannon. She's a past life regressionist, and all of these are transcripts that she made into a book of her past life regressions she'd done. So in this book, interestingly, they reference how crystals are an intermediary between something called an etheric grid and an earth grid. So there's 2 different types of grids. This book's saying an earth grid and an etheric grid. When humans are holding the crystals while anchored to the earth, they are acting as this intermediary. They keep referring to it as like a triangle. And then you are reactivating these grids by doing this. And then the book says that hurricanes, volcanoes, earthquakes, and war are all indications of a disturbance in the grid. They also said that these can sometimes, like earthquakes and volcanoes, can also indicate the grid is being brought back into balance. So it's a good thing, and it's a release of energy. They also referred to this as the birth of New Earth, and said that this is our transition to 4D, as is referenced all the time nowadays. So that New Earth that we're moving into, this is apparently a part of it, these grids being realigned. They also reference, if you ever want to read it, really interesting, there's way more on this, how the grids were destroyed by Atlantis originally. Something about how Atlantis had too much technology, and the grids had to be destroyed and Atlantis had to be destroyed because they were like children playing with fire. They didn't know this they didn't understand technology that they had, and it was way too advanced for them, and they were like ready to destroy the earth or something like that. So if you want to read more about that, the book's super interesting. So anyways, the DNA our DNA also is being reactivated in this process. Our DNA has some type of like an unlocking of these grids, this lock, this key. So this DNA, apparently our DNA has been inactive in past generations, but recently our DNA is being reactivated. Something about the Atlantis too. That's when parts of our DNA were inactivated because it was like too advanced for us. And now this is the transition where we're reactivating this DNA. And apparently this is what is the psychic abilities that people are coming up with, mediumship, all that. That is an indication of DNA being reactivated. That's part of it. Those are parts of the DNA that's reactivated, the psychic abilities. I also channeled that it seems to be a time where things aren't as like argumentative politically and stuff like that as it has been. Sure, it's still really, but it's like, I don't know, it's coming to a point where it's going to boil over, and it's either like going to make change or we'll see what happens. So cards I pulled, Justice Reversed. This is telling us there's an imbalance, unfairness. So that went right along, which is crazy. You can't even make that up. I pulled imbalance as the first card. So there's definite imbalance in the world right now, maybe personally in your own life as well. So there could be unfairness going on, legal complications. This could be personal or on a global scale. There's an imbalance and unfairness globally as well. Maybe politically. There is maybe personally a lack of accountability, unresolved issues in relationships. Things are not fair or balanced. There may be relationship issues with challenges of unfairness, unbalance, and maybe in your duties, and unbalance in that. Maybe someone's taking more slack than the other. A lack of accountability maybe, so look into your relationships if that's what's going on. Maybe something you have to work on. Financial imbalances and an unfairness at work. Then I pulled 6 of Cups reversed, which means that we need to move past what's in the past, embrace the present and future. It's something you need to do to move forward, globally, politically also, getting ready to move on and stop focusing on the past wrongs, figure out what our new future is, to focus more, less on all the bad that has happened in the past in history, and write a new script here, something that's new. Focus on that. Focus on creating a new future. It may be personally that you're dwelling on nostalgia. I've noticed that in music lately, like collectively on the radio. I've been noticing, even spiritually, my just my like shuffle. Amazon Music is coming up with these nostalgic songs. The radio too, tons of them. Especially of this summertime. Like personally for me, I'm hearing summertime music of this a specific type, like all these different songs, I haven't heard them in forever, that are coming on the radio, of like 2005, 6, 7 summers. I don't know what that is, but we're stuck in it lately. I think for some reason spiritually we're all stuck in it. It's hindering our personal growth and new opportunities. It's time to focus on your own personal future. Come up with goals. Do you have goals? What do you have a future plan? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 onward years from now, where do you see yourself? Do you have a plan? If you don't, then why? Maybe that's something you need to sit and think on. What's keeping you stuck? Are you just stuck in a routine that is, it's just what works and you're just kind of stuck in it, content, so you're not moving any forward anywhere? What's keeping you stuck? It's time to let go. It's time to envision where you're going next. Just because you're comfortable doesn't mean you can't plan ahead of where you want to be. That's something you need to maybe sit and think on for a little bit, meditate on. Are there unresolved issues from childhood or past relationships that need attention? Work through these to move on. If you've been avoiding these and pushing them down, like way down deep, now's the time to come out with a plan to work through these. If you need to seek help, what is the help that you need that's best for you? That's something you might need to think on. And then make a plan. Sit there, make a plan. Sometimes things are so hard and it seems like it's easier to just shove them down. Sometimes you just need to sit down maybe at the end of your day and sit there and really take out a pen and a piece of paper and come up with a plan and say, you know, even if I don't want to do it right now, well, what's going to push me? Maybe to make a phone call, maybe even just you see on a website, search your options first. Maybe that's your first plan. Once you find an option, maybe it's hard for you to go ahead and make that call. Put in your email. Most sites nowadays, they have a little box where you can like put in your information, put it in there. At least you started a step. Maybe you'll be feeling better the other day to connect to the next step to that. Maybe they'll call you and you'll pick it up. When you initiate change, Spirit meets you halfway. So just initiate, and the rest will it'll work out. It'll help you along. Spirit will help you along the way. If it's hard, make one step. Even if you're crawling, crawl forward. You start, Spirit will meet you halfway and help you on the rest of that journey. Next card was 5 of Wands. This is a card of conflict, competition, and struggle. You may be at odds with others, navigating challenges. You have to overcome obstacles. You might have ambition, a drive to succeed right now. Multiple people might be involved in this struggle or conflict that's going on. You need to find a way to work together and resolve an issue. Sit down and talk, get everybody on the same page. This might be a time of a need for collaboration. The solution is with collaborating and talking with others. If there's a whole bunch of you, there's a conflict, you're all on different pages. Your solution may be to get everybody in one room to all talk together at the same time. You may be pulled in different directions. Get together, figure it out together. Next was the Page of Wands. This is a card of new beginnings after you get through these challenges. Enthusiasm, spark of creativity, motivation, eager to start something new. So through all these challenges, you're going to start something new. The other card I picked was Alligator reversed. Alligator tells you to laugh in the face of conflict to survive. Sometimes you need to laugh a little bit when things get tough. You maybe time for you're making rash actions, decisions, using thoughtless words that got you into trouble. There's no band-aid fix or quick coping mechanisms like disassociation, watching Netflix for hours on end. You need to find a long-term stable solution. You may be feeling inflexible, judgmental. It's clouding your thinking right now. Take a break. You might need to take a break, as I said, to laugh. Get together with people who make you laugh. Figure out what makes you take a break. Stop stressing. Find some happiness for a little bit. Then when you come back to the problem, you'll definitely have a renewed perspective. You'll be less negative about it once you focus on something else and get yourself in more positive mindset. Be an onlooker from the outside on whatever your issue is. See it from a bird's eye point of view. You might be looking at it with tunnel vision right now. That also will help getting out, doing something different, taking your mind off of it, and then coming back to it, meeting with friends, family, and laughing together, talking together.